Welcome to Africa channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to help us.
The group we've gathered this time includes most of the top players. Each vehicle you see here is among the most important nameplates for their respective automakers, and all have annual sales volumes that eclipse 100,000 units. The 2023 Toyota RAV4 is the best-selling model in the category. Its well-known reliability and the current generation's rugged styling continue to court buyers by the bucketful, and its expansive lineup ensures no shortage of choice. We asked all automakers to send us their top trims with the gas engine, but Toyota was only able to send us a TRD off-road model for our comparison. This version's adventure-ready look, higher ride, all-terrain tires, and two-tone paint stand out from the rest of the pack. The 2023 Honda CR-V is brand new, getting a complete redesign this year and adding new technology. For the 2023 model year, Honda mixes the gas and hybrid engines within one lineup, rather than splitting the hybrid off with its own trim hierarchy as before, with the X and XL getting the gas engine and the Sport and Touring being hybrid only. Our XL test car arrived with more than the basics but wasn't as well equipped as the other competitors. With a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbo engine, the 2023 Nissan Rogue Platinum is down one cylinder on every other SUV here. Even so, the new engine means the popular SUV has more power while simultaneously sipping less fuel, and its sophisticated styling and comfortable cabin are major pluses. The Kia and Hyundai entries look different outside, but under the sheet metal they share a lot in common. The 2023 Kia Sportage X Pro Prestige and 2023 Hyundai Tucson Limited are underpinned by the same platform, and they share the same heart, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine making 187 horsepower and 178 pounds-to-foot of torque. They also both rank highly on value, offering tons of amenities. The 2023 Mazda CX-5 hasn't been updated in a few years, but it continues to be a favorite among enthusiasts. It delivers the company's trademark zoom and offers the most powerful engine in its class, a 2.5-liter turbo 4 with 227 horsepower and 310 pounds-to-foot of torque. It sacrifices other things, but Mazda puts the driver and emotion at the top of its list. Finally, the 2023 Subaru Forester Touring isn't the most handsome SUV out there, but it continues to be popular among outdoorsy types. With standard all-wheel drive and a boxer engine, the Forester Touring prioritizes comfort, all-weather peace of mind, and a quieter ride. Before we get started, a caveat: you're probably surprised there isn't an American player in this game. We invited the 2023 Ford Escape to join the fun, but Ford didn't have any examples available. The Chevrolet Equinox and Jeep Cherokee haven't received notable updates or redesigns. They finished in the bottom two spots in our last compact SUV big test, so there's no reason to believe they'd fare better now. The group we rounded up, however, is as competitive as it can get. These SUVs weren't developed around a racetrack or with a dynamic feel in mind, but the segment has come a long way on that front. Some are more fun to drive than others, but we know that's not the only thing that matters when buying an SUV. Comfort and a quiet cabin are top priorities. The Rogue is a great example of this philosophy. It delivers a serene ride while keeping the vibrations out of the cabin, favoring comfort over anything else. I commend Nissan for going with such a comfort-oriented chassis tune rather than making it stiff in an attempt to pretend to be sporty, Associate Editor Alex Len said. Its steering is light but well balanced, and its 3-cylinder engine's 201 horsepower and 225 pounds-to-foot of torque are plenty for a compact SUV. Power is plentiful and immediately available, and it never feels underpowered. Still, while we enjoyed the Rogue's ride, we had more fun in the CX-5. The jock of the pack, the Mazda feels at home on twisty roads and offers excellent body composure. Its steering feels closer to a sports car's, with loads of feedback and precision. I'm really blown away by the maturity of its steering and ride, features editor Christian Sebaugh said. Its turbocharged engine packs a punch. It reaches 60 miles per hour in 6.8 seconds, making it the quickest in our group by a landslide. Associate Editor Bob Hernandez noted its brakes feel like they have the most bite, too, which increases confidence. Despite sharing platforms and powertrains, the Sportage and Tucson feel different on the road. The Kia's 8-speed automatic transmission is more refined, but both SUVs lack power. All Sportage X Pro Prestige models are equipped with all-terrain tires, making the ride a bit bouncier and noisier than in the Tucson Limited we had, but the Kia's steering ratio has a quicker feel. Otherwise, the Hyundai and Kia are effectively a wash when it comes to how they drive, Sebaugh said. Both are underpowered and slow, but the Kia's superior transmission tuning makes this engine easier to live with. All editors were disappointed with the powertrain, especially considering each company has scored a recent Motor Trend Golden Calipers trophy, with the Telluride and Ioniq 5, our 2020 and 2023 SUVs of the year. The CR-V has long been a Motor Trend favorite. It won our SUV of the Year title in 2015 and 2018. It came out on top in the last big test we executed, and the new generation mostly sticks to the model's proven formula. The 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder is carried over from the previous generation, still making 190 horsepower and 179 pounds-to-foot. The engine is well paired with the CVT, but it feels a bit stressed at moderate throttle inputs. It sounds like it's working hard to provide the power that it does, Len said. Its ride, however, is composed and serene. It stands out by doing everything reasonably well. Associate road test editor Eric Iapana described the CR-V as the best handler of the bunch, yet some editors had a harder time getting used to its brakes, which lack strong engagement at the top of the pedal travel. The most popular vehicle in the segment isn't a strong handler, which we can understand, but it's harder to forgive the RAV4 for its lack of comfort relative to other small SUVs. In this case, pin some blame on the TRD off-road's all-terrain tires and tuned suspension, as it rode jigglingly firm compared to every other SUV in the test. Its steering, however, ranks at the top of the group, providing the most direct road feel. Unfortunately, more negatives appear in the form of the loud, unrefined 2.4-liter 4-cylinder and an 8-speed transmission that hunts for gears and feels like it's fighting the engine instead of working together. You bury the throttle, and after getting a few milliseconds of zero reaction, the RAV suddenly responds with a lurch, Hernandez noted. A tried and true crossover, the Subaru Forester has held the top spot in our buyer's guide rankings because it tends to do everything well. The 2.5-liter Boxer engine delivers 182 horsepower and 176 pounds-foot but feels stressed when passing or climbing a hill. Torque delivery can feel a bit too aggressive from a stop, and its CVT lacks the refinement of Honda's. Its ride isn't remarkably better, either. Either this road is bumpier than I remember, Evans said, or the Forester seems to translate every single bump into the seat. And prospective buyers should be aware that the Forester's steering feels considerably less connected to the road than others. With Lenz's frame reaching an impressive 6'10", our big test judging crew had an opportunity to test the limits of interior space and driver positioning, while also zeroing in on overall comfort, cargo room, technology, and utility. The Rogue quickly stood out with its premium-feeling interior featuring quilted leather seats, ambient lighting, and 3-zone climate control. The Rogue is the most expensive of the group, $1,320 more than the RAV4, and it feels like it. Features like the Rogue's panoramic roof and small things like the soft detents of the switchgear are further upscale, Hernandez said. But we were let down by its infotainment screen, which is laggy and displays dated graphics. The CR-V has always been about versatility and interior room, but the new generation takes a step backward. The rear seats can only be folded from the seat backs and no longer have the option to fold flat from the cargo area. The XL, the second highest trim in the CR-V lineup, doesn't have rear USB ports, something the previous model offered on every trim except the base. The 9.0-inch touchscreen looks small in this competition, and its infotainment system already seems old. Worse, the backup camera only fills about half of the screen instead of using the entire display. But there are many positives. The seats are comfortable, and the cabin design is smart, airy, and uncluttered. Iapana called it the Marie Kondo of interiors. We preferred the Sportage's cabin design over the Tucson's. The curved display in the Kia combines the infotainment and digital gauge cluster into a single panel, giving the interior a chic and avant-garde look. And the Kia's attention to detail, such as cool air vent designs and hangers on the back of the headrests, distinguish the Sportage from its competitors. I can take or leave the exterior, Seabaugh said, but I hopped into the driver's seat and was immediately impressed with how warm and welcoming the Sportage felt, with its faux wood trim, large, curved infotainment display, and metallic accents that tie into the meaty D-ring door handles. Although we like the Kia's styling, having the HVAC and radio controls contained in one touch-sensitive panel that swaps between them is a step in the wrong direction. The same knob is used to turn up the volume or temperature. It's odd and awful. The Tucson uses individual buttons for those functions, but we found them a bit hard to use while driving, as they're too close to each other. However, we appreciated its cleverly packaged center console. The push-button shifter allows for easier access to the center storage bin. And the Tucson checked every box on the equipment list: heated rear seats, panoramic roof, wireless charger, Bose premium audio system, 4 USB ports, and more. The Tucson is also the most affordable SUV of this group, showing great value. As a 2022 model, our RAV4 lacked the new infotainment system introduced for 2023. Our test vehicle had the old system, whose aging graphics and low resolution were noticeable, so we're glad the updated RAV is getting better tech. Aside from that, the interior design didn't change. There are some cool touches, like the chunky AC knobs with a rubbery texture and extra storage on the dashboard. To the bad, the rear door openings are narrow, the rear seats don't fold completely flat, and you can't fold the rear seats from the cargo area. And although we like the TRD logos and orange details, we wish the cluster had a bigger screen to display its information. Over the past several years, Mazda has been trying to make its products feel premium, and although the CX-5 has a clean interior design, it didn't win our hearts. As much as I appreciate how stylish the interior is, I do wish Mazda would offer it in more colorways than black and chrome, Evans said. On the tech front, the CX-5 doesn't offer a full digital cluster or a touchscreen. It's the only vehicle here that lacks a touch function for its main display, as Mazda believes its central control knob is safer. Interior room isn't its best trait, either. Rear legroom is tight compared to any other vehicle in this class, and the two USB ports for rear seat passengers are located on the center armrest, which means you'll need to thread the cables through the seatback when a third person is sitting back there. However, we do like its 40/20/40 split rear seating, which allow users to haul longer items without folding down multiple seats at once. Like the RAV4, the Forester needs a redesign. Even in the up-level touring model in this test, which came with a two-tone brown and black leather interior, the cabin's design hasn't aged well. If we were in the early 2010s, we'd be pleased with its small LCD screen between the Speedo and TOC and its small EyeSight screen sitting atop the dash, but in 2023 it simply needs more modern technology to keep pace. Behind the front seats, however, the touring model is as well equipped as it can be: tons of legroom, heated seats, USB ports, air vents, and the same kind of soft plastics as in the front. The Subaru has the best cargo area of the group, sturdy hooks, even in the ceiling, a biggish underfloor storage space, and a rubber mat design that's distinctive, Hernandez said. We rely on FS and NHTSA crash ratings for passive safety, though we tested the active safety features in each SUV. 5 of the 7 vehicles here, the Tucson, CX-5, Rogue, Forester, and RAV4, have received Top Safety Pick Plus recognition, which looks at several crash tests, headlight brightness and pattern, active safety technology, and seat belts and child restraints. The Sportage received a Top Safety Pick rating, and the new CR-V has yet to be tested, although the outgoing model was a Top Safety Pick Plus. On the road, Nissan's Pro Pilot Assist was the best driver assistance aid of the bunch, with the system confidently reading the lane lines on the highway, maintaining a safe distance with the car in front, and keeping the Rogue centered in its lane. We also gave high marks to Kia and Hyundai. Their cruise control systems work great in stop-and-go traffic and work with less frequent driver interventions. The CR-V, Forester, and RAV4 come with plenty of standard advanced safety features. All 3 S.U.V. systems are decent, but the Toyota had the most trouble seeing lane markings. The Mazda has the worst driver aids in the test. Its lane keep assist had issues, including that its alerts to warn that you're veering out of a lane activate quite late. There's zero effort at any kind of lane centering here, just your basic lane departure prevention, really more of a simple warning, Evans said. This, however, is similar to our findings in other Mazda products, and its engineers would rather have lively steering feel, which can be compromised by the software and hardware required to offer a setup that tugs at the wheel to keep you centered in your lane. Looks, technology, versatility, interior space, and the way they drive are important, but how much? Is likely the first question someone asks when looking at this segment. At $27,615, the entry-level Kia Sportage has the lowest starting price, but the models tested here all start in the high $30,000 range. From our as-tested models, the Tucson Limited AWD is the least expensive at $37,505. The Rogue stands out with its $43,030 price tag, but it offers not just a bunch of equipment but a strong sense you really are getting more for the money. Honda has a reputation for strong value, but we expect more features for $37,510. The used car market continues to fluctuate, but based on the most recent IntelliChoice analysis, the Honda CR-V 2022 has the lowest 5-year cost of ownership and the most retained value. Sometimes selecting the last place finisher is a tough decision, but we had no difficulty ranking the Tucson at the back of the pack here. It's great on value and safety and comes packed with features, but the Hyundai had the worst powertrain and ride of the group. If you don't care about the drive, the Tucson is an amenable choice, but we question Hyundai's decision to use this engine and transmission in its most popular model. Next up comes the Toyota RAV4. Its powertrain needs further refinement, and its rowdy ride turned off our judges. We aren't fans of its narrow rear door opening and lack of advanced tech given its $41,710 price tag. We didn't evaluate the TRD Pro's off-road focused equipment in the showdown, but we did in this comparison test. There are some positives, though. Its design has aged well, and its cabin is full of cool little details like the orange trim and rubber wrap knobs. 5th place belongs to the Forester. It's competent but not all that exciting, Seabaugh said. Its expansive cabin and ample cargo area are great traits for a compact SUV, but its powertrain seems stressed when going uphill and passing on the freeway, and its bland exterior design fails to stand out. The CX-5 scored 4th. There's a lot to like, especially the way it drives. But in a segment as competitive as this one, driving isn't all that matters. The Mazda doesn't deliver a great in-cabin experience, lacking the technology and interior space the others offer. We hope the next-gen CX-5 addresses these concerns. 3rd place belongs to the Sportage. Kia overhauled its compact SUV in a big way, and it's packed with neat features others don't have. Its biggest downside is its weak powertrain, but it finishes so far ahead of the mechanically similar Tucson on the strength of its much smarter transmission programming and cool design, particularly inside, while its ride, interior space, and safety tech are good enough to land it here, above the oldest entrants. The all-new CR-V lands in 2nd place, and so a nameplate we've awarded numerous times over the years falls short of the top spot this time. It continues to trade strongly on its ride quality, handling, and refined powertrain, but the new model is no longer the feature-packed, strong value we've come to expect. This leaves us with the Rogue. Propelled by a high-tech turbo 3-cylinder engine and packed with tons of goodies, premium materials, and excellent safety gear, the Nissan earns the top spot. If you're looking for a compact SUV with a versatile and spacious interior and great value, the Rogue should top your list.
We have come to the end of the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to help us.